In today's tutorial, I am going to show you how to program a complete class into an Educandus quiz. I'm going to be showing you an example of B23. This is one of the levels that I'm teaching this semester. However, you can adapt this to any level using any class material you wish. I just want to show you how I took the material that I had created last semester and I virtualized it for our students. So to do this, what you'll need is, of course, your Educandus page, and as always, you need your activities prepared. I always prepare my activities first in Word, so that when it comes to programming Educandus, the only thing I have to do is copy paste without worrying about, oh, what is the correct answer, or oh, I need to come up with some options for this question. No, everything is already done. So as you can see, these are my activities. This is going to be a reading class, reading and vocabulary. And the topic is globalization. So this would be something that I would give students, the paper version that I would give students. We can see I have a warm-up here, a couple of warm-up activities just to get them started, then a little bit of a writing activity, then we move on to the reading comprehension. I have a couple of activities here, some vocabulary activities here, and then a little finisher where they're giving their own opinion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at each activity and I'm going to think about what type of activity would work best in the Educandus quiz. So we have lots of options available to us, from open essay questions, multiple choice, true or false, matching, etc. So I'm just going to go down the list, and just so that I remember as I go through programming, I'm going to add in what type of activity I'm going to program. So I can see this one, it says write 50 words to explain your answer. That's easy. I'm going to go for essay. And then this was originally a matching activity, so I am going to keep it as matching logos to the name of the company. Then here, this was originally a survey. However, I'm going to change it a little bit just to make it easier for myself into an essay, and students have to write 1 or 2 sentences for each one. Okay, then Unit 4, Activity 4, they have to read the introduction and then give their opinion. So again, this will be essay. Number 5, they have to read the article and then decide if the statements agree or disagree or are not mentioned by the author. So this one is clearly multiple choice. Okay. Then for vocabulary, they have to read one of the paragraphs from the article and then find a word or a phrase in the article that has this definition. They're just typing one word, so I think we could go for short answer. Okay, and then down we go, activity 7. Once again, they're reading and writing their opinions, so I would go for essay. And then my final activity is they have to record an audio response to the questions. One more time, I think I'm going to go with essay. So now I'm prepared to start programming. I'll just save this. So in my Educandus page, the first thing I want to do is, I am not actually going to use this. This, remember, was pre-programmed for you when you imported your page. I am going to You can hide it or you can delete it. I'm just going to hide it for now because I don't want students to see that. What I want students to see is the quiz activity that I'm going to upload for them. So I upload my quiz. And I'm going to give it the same name, Unit 1, Class 1. Now I think this is an important step. Copying the outcomes. If we were in a classroom, usually we would include the outcomes at the start of class so students know what we're working towards. So I think it's important that we keep that in our virtual classes so they can see I have 2 outcomes that I want us to work towards. Now, for the rest of the settings, I'm going to leave that to the very end. We will have to come back to this page, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to do it at the very end once I've programmed everything. So right now I save and return to course. Okay, and then I just want to drag this up to the top here. So it's in the same order. They don't have to go looking for it down at the bottom here. Okay, so now my quiz is ready to go. I'm going to start with Edit Quiz. I'm going to click Add a new question. And my first activity I decided was going to be essay. So that's what I'm going to pick. I'm going to add it here. Okay. This is just the name of the course. You can leave it like that. And the question name, I am just going to put 1 because it's the first activity. Now, all I have to do is copy paste. I think this is why it's so important that you have your questions already prepared so that when it comes to programming, it's quicker for you. So what does the term globalization mean to you? Write 50 words to explain your answer. Now, for the general feedback, you could copy and paste an example answer so that students know if they've done the right thing or not. I'm going to skip that step now, but that's always an option for you in this box to copy paste the answer. Okay. So all of these settings require students to enter text. I don't want them to attach anything. I'm not going to officially grade this, so we save changes and continue editing. First activity, done. Easy peasy. Come back to the bottom and save changes. Now, for the rest of the activities, I am not going to go one by one showing you how to upload. For those activities, please check out the separate video tutorials I have already for matching, for true false. I'm making more, so please check those out. So I'm going to go quickly through this, the rest of my activities here, and then we'll meet back and I will talk to you about some of the formatting of the activities.
Now on to activity 3, another essay.
Now on to activity 4. This is the main reading comprehension part of my activity. I'm going to slow it down just a bit just so that I can show you how to add the link to the article here. So it's another essay. Okay, and then I will add link to article. Once again, I format it and I take my link and I paste it here. And I want to make sure I click the link button, I paste it again, and I click open in a new window. And that way students will be able to click on the link and it won't open in the same window, deleting their quiz. It will open in a new window. That's something super important. Okay, done with activity 4. We are moving very quickly through this. For activity 5, multiple choice. If you have more than one reading comprehension activity with the same article, I suggest posting it for each activity at the start of each activity, just so that students, in case they close the window, they could easily access it again. Whew, that was a long one. Done with the multiple choice. Now we're moving on to the vocabulary answers. Again, I'm going to slow this one down for the first one, just so that you can see what I am doing here. So I'm going to add, and I'm going to go for short answer. This is number 6. My question text. Okay, now this is the answer, so that I know that that's the answer for programming. So I'm going to delete that and add a space there. Okay, and then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add the answer. Case is not important for me. It doesn't matter if they write it all lower or all uppercase. And now comes the joy of thinking about different ways students could spell this. So I'm just going to do it all in one word. I would accept that. And 2 separate words without the hyphen. I would accept that. For the grade, I want to give all of these 100%. And there we go. So we have the instructions, we have the text, we have the example sentence, save changes, and now we can program the rest of them. Okay, we're finally getting to the end. I've got 2 activities to go. They're both essays. So my instructions are record an audio response to the questions and upload the audio below. That would mean that we have to allow attachments, okay? And I'm gonna allow them an unlimited amount just in case they have any issues. Now, you can select any type of files. I'm gonna put all file types. Again, I don't know what to expect from the students. Greater information is not important. And I save my changes. Okay, so now you can see that all of the activities have been programmed in. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that they are formatted correctly so that, for example, activity 1 appears on one page, activity 2 appears on a different page, so on and so forth. I want to make sure all of my multiple choice activities are on one page, and for example, all of my vocabulary activities are on one page. So first of all, to start this process, we just have to click repaginate and repaginate with 1 question per page. I didn't even know that was a word. Okay, so now it should look like everything's separate. And the only thing I have to do now is make sure my multiple choice questions are all together. Now for multiple choice, that was activity 5. So I come in here and I find my activity 5, and here are all my 5s, my multiple choice questions. So the only thing I have to do is drag and drop them up so they appear in the same page. And then do the same with my vocabulary activities, which were my 6 vocabulary activities. Okay, and then you can press save up here. Okay, so now we can preview all of our hard work. We come back to our main course page and we click on the quiz. Here we can see the outcomes and we can click on preview quiz now to get started. So here I can see my first question. Students can write their response and then next. They can also see how many activities they have still got to go through. Again, we have our matching activity. I'll just do this one at random. I even think they can leave blank and still continue on to the next page. Okay, activity 3 was my other essay question. So again, they write the response and keep going. Now I get to my reading comprehension. I can click the link to make sure it's working. Yes, it's working. Write my response. Next page. Now here we should see, yay, all my multiple choice are on the same page. So again, they can open the link here and then click the correct answers. Moving on. Now we have the vocabulary activities. So here, Educandus has given us the box and they have to write the correct words in here. There we go. And keep going. So we're getting towards the end of our activity. Again, it was the essay question. They write and give their response. And then this is where they're going to upload their audio. And you can see that they are able to upload an audio track here. And I will do an example here of a short audio. This is around 1 minute. So if I click upload this file, then there it's saved. And then I can finish my attempt. So students don't have to complete all of the activities in a oneer. They can complete a few activities and go back to them. However, when they are totally finished, they can press submit all and finish. And once again, and then the system will show them their answers. And for example, for the multiple choice questions, now we can decide whether we want students to see their correct answers or not. So as promised, we go back into the overall settings of the quiz to take a look at how we would do that. Okay, so instead of clicking on the quiz, I want to make sure I'm clicking on the edit settings. Okay, and there's 2 settings that I want us to have a look at. First of all, timing is not an issue. We want the students to be able to look at this throughout the whole semester, and we don't really need it to have a time limit either. So I wouldn't bother setting anything in the timing. In the grade, you can consider the number of times you want students to complete a sequence, but again, we want the students to be able to do this at any point during the semester, so I would also leave this or make sure this is set to unlimited. However, the most interesting one for us is the review options. As a default, Educandus will select these ones, but we want to make sure that all of these are checked. for immediately and also later. What this does, it means that students, once they finish an attempt, will be able to check whether the answer is correct or incorrect, their total marks for an activity, specific feedback or general feedback that you might have programmed. If you want, you can show them what the right answers were. Now, you might want to consider this for, let's see, you could not show them the right answers, and that way they could go back into the quiz and try and figure out what the right answers are. Or you can simply show them the right answer right off the bat. Absolutely your decision. And apart from that, those are the only other settings that we have to think about. So if I save and return to course, and now, okay, so now I've finished the quiz. I click submit all and finish, submit all and finish. And now, because I've changed my settings, students will be able to see which ones that they got correct, which ones they got wrong, and the correct answers here. Of course, for the open essay questions, if you didn't program any feedback, they won't see anything here. But for the true or false, for the multiple choice, they will. And for the vocabulary options, they will also. And here I can listen to the audio. So that is one full class with warm-up activities, a couple of reading comprehension, and a couple of finisher activities. Honestly, I think overall, if you have the activities like this in an easy document, organized with the options, with you know which options are correct, you have the correct answers all the way through, I reckon it will take you, maybe the first time you do this, maybe an hour to an hour and a half to program one complete lesson. But you're going to get quicker at it. And the more you do it, the quicker you will get. And the good thing is, for example, I teach 2 sections of B23. I don't have to program this for every section of B23 that I teach. I can re-import only this activity onto my B23 page. So that way for both of my sections, or if you have 5 of the same sections, you only have to create it once and then re-import it onto the other pages, which is a relief. So please let me know if you have any questions, any doubts. Even if you want me to be your practice student and work through some of the activities that you have created, then please let me know.